Welcome to Monday's Market Outlook here at Wealth Creation Investing. Matthew Buckley, Chief Investment Strategist here at WCI. And folks, we're getting very, very close to the edge and joining Germany of 1933 in the list of defaulters, right? The Weimar Republic, Hitler came to power and said, yeah, we're going to just wipe this balance clean and default, right? We had Russia in the 1990s kind of do something a little similar, but not to the level we're getting to. We saw Germany, France in the 1800s. Folks, first of all, it won't be fatal. If anything, it'll really wake us the hell up that we really need to get our fiscal house in order. However, defaulting would have deadly serious consequences for world markets. We saw last week that the Chinese were kind of poking us in the chest like, hey, that 1.3 trillion of our money, we might be calling that back here if it's not going to be kept under your care. And they're already, not only did their premier, but their state-run media, they're trying to get an anti-USA chant going in the crowd here to ditch the dollar as the world's reserve currency. That has very serious implications, folks. So as we saw in the Sunday talk shows yesterday, first of all, the Republicans overreached, right? Get rid of Obamacare, and they reached for the sky. Obama crossed his arms and did what he's done his entire life, never negotiated. I get everything handed to me, and you guys can suck it. And now he's overreaching because now the Republicans are like, all right, well, we're going to call your bluff. We're getting really close, folks, and it's getting pretty ugly. So there are a lot of other events that are on the flight schedule this week, but it really doesn't matter. I mean, there's some GDP out of China. We saw last night some CPI numbers that were relatively good out of China. There's some, other reports out of Europe, the Eurozone, and Great Britain as far as their economy. But who cares, right? We're really not interested in what's going on around the world because all the world, even Christine Lagarde with the IMF meeting of all these world, like over 100 finance ministers from all these countries around the world in the U.S. have all their eyes on Washington. So it really doesn't matter what the hell's going on around the world. It matters what happens in Washington. But, what a sign of the times here. There was a food stamp glitch in a couple states, and essentially these crowds stormed Walmart and cleared the shelves. I mean, this is the state of our union, folks. First of all, we know Social Security disability. Nearly half the people on Social Security disability are frauds, right? And I'm going to throw a dart and say that there's a high percentage of people on food stamps who probably don't deserve it. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm no Gordon Gekko here, and I think the truly destitute in our nation need help. But that's also why we have private organizations. We have churches. We have the United Way. We have the Salvation Army. We have all this stuff. Since when is the government in the business of doing this stuff? But since we are, if there's any glitches, guess what? People freak the hell out because they're what? Entitled. Love that word, entitlements. They are entitled to this stuff. Don't give it to them, and they're going to storm and steal. It's just it really makes me shake my head. So here we go, off the cliff. But like I've talked about before, folks, I'm going to potentially make money on the stupidity of others. This Iron Condor we placed last week on Friday is up about $360 in a couple hours. Iron Condor on Apple. So those of you who are in our weekly options live training program last week, looking at some nice profits in only a half a day on this Apple Iron Condor, $370. That's a pretty good deal. We knocked out our first live training session this morning. Good hour and a half session, about an hour of live training on weekly options, and then about a 30-minute live trading session. Didn't add any new trades. We stuck with this Apple Iron Condor because sometimes, just like the movie War Games, sometimes the only winning trade is not to trade. I can't predict what's going to happen in Washington. I really am a 50 delta right now, whether or not we default and whether or not we have an 11th hour solution. Either way, I really don't, even if we have a solution, we saw a head fake last week. We saw a potential solution, market rallied over 320 points, and then Lucy pulled the football out, right? So I don't think we have a rip your face off rally on any resolution because I really think we've turned the lights on in the kitchen and everybody's seen the roaches. no reason to celebrate even if we get a resolution, because we're getting ready to get, or we're actually in Q3 earnings, and they're not going to be that good either. So Q3 earnings aren't going to be that good, and I just think the market, obviously, if we default, we're going to implode. Market's down 500, 600 points easily, and bad things happen. However, I just don't see a big yay moment if we quote unquote, fix this stuff, really because of just everything that's going on in our economy. Okay, so it's going to be an interesting week. Click on the link in this email if you want to get into this 2-week test program. Get airborne, do a test training program with our weekly options and our primary live trade brief, which I'll be knocking out tomorrow morning at 0900. You don't want to miss that, because I am going to be talking about everything that's going on in DC and the potential trades that I'm looking at to profit off the stupidity, and also to look past what's going on, to look at Q3 earnings, and to look at what the Fed may or may not do, because that's how you trade. You have got to trade strategically and not tactically. Okay? All right, I got to run. A lot of stuff going on, a lot of good trading going on here at Top Gun Options. Like I said, click on the link in this email to sign up for our 2-week training program and get airborne ASAP. You don't want to miss the primary live trade brief tomorrow morning at 0900. Okay? Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge, and I'll see many of you tomorrow morning at 0900. We'll see you.